That's wild. I just realized that I had the mic off. Hold on, one second. But yeah, peace, everyone. Give me a round of applause right there for not knowing that the mic was off. I guess it happens to the best. What's going on there, y'all? I was checking out. What I was talking about is that I was checking out the analytics today. I was seeing some little bit unique things here. You know, we got our own notifications now, of course, on Random Jewels now. I got a couple new people I gotta add. I didn't get a chance to do that, but it says here that 26% of the subscribers have turned on all notifications, and 17% of subscribers have turned on all notifications and enabled YouTube notifications. So I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'm saying these could be things. These could be things that are affecting you getting your notification from YouTube. You know, we have 21% visitors that come to see us. You know, they not subscribed, but they come to check out the cipher. You know, we have, there's an impact, since we're no longer a Hotep channel. Female viewership is down. I'm sure I lost a couple more young ladies after yesterday's series of lives. We'll do better if we can. There's some other things in here too that I found quite odd. You know, it says here that the other channels that my audience watches. You know, I'm not gonna expose y'all. I'm not gonna. You know, this is no in particular individual. I guess this is just a kind of a. You know, I guess a composite, but it's rather interesting. But I'll let y'all live on that. You know, we have some other things here though that really have some key moments here. Where we found one particularly one particularly interesting you know, I gotta bring this up. Whoever this is, I need you to raise your hand. You know, I need these people to let me know. Yeah, I wanna laugh with you. This is but it says here that you know, out of 1,146 views, right, where the traffic source was people typed something into YouTube search, and one of my videos came up apparently, and I was supposed they clicked on to the video. You know, some of these things, you know, Val 333 Tarot, that one was kind of out there. You know, 2 people found me through that. Apparently, they stuck around. They watched. they watched for an average duration of 1 hour and 20 minutes. That's peculiar. Two people found me from Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. Shout out to those brothers. I watched that, but they stuck around a minute, 58 minutes. Now the lion's share, we say, what's this? 450 views. Came, you know, people typing in either my name or Random Jewels accounted for 450. Right? The large school in Mecca, 45. That's, you know, all of this is, you know, this is not what I'm asking about. 23 people, apparently, you know, yeah, I guess from knowing that I was going to put up the, you know, Schaumburg event, you know, from what Allah taught. Nothing peculiar about that.
Mike, you ain't got fucking you ain't got Darkim here to save you now, bitch.
Shout out to the little brother, Minister Freedom. 6 people apparently typed in 5% connection. And I guess some videos came up. We guys, they stuck around 45 minutes. We got one here. I don't know how he feels about that. You know, but apparently 4 people found me from typing in Saladin Allah. Now we start to get out there where it's, you know, see, this is the type of shit you gotta explain. See, this is, you know, this is evidence that I've been playing too much. this is where you know, look, when shit like this shows up. 3 people apparently typed in flat earth. And I guess my videos came up. But now we come to the one that, listen, I need somebody to tell me who you are. Apparently, two people typed in Cripmac 55 and found my videos and actually clicked on it. Shout out to Cripmac, keep it 55, keep it 55th Street. But I gotta, somebody has to explain to me how this algorithm works now. How did I get affiliated? How did someone type in Cripmac 55? Keeping it 55th Street. That's, you know, I mean, somebody needs to talk to Google. I don't think their algorithm is working. I don't know if it's working. You know. He's a good brother. I ain't got no problem with the brother. I'm just wondering, you know, he's from LA, I'm from New York. You know, he's in a gang, I'm not. I just don't see what's the thread there. But shout out to Cripmac, keep it 55th. Is that what it is? The Google, the algorithm doesn't know the difference between 5 and 55? I might want to tweak that. Sergi and the boys, y'all might want to tweak that. Can't call it. Round of applause to the people that typed in Cripmac 55 and then came over to check out the Random Jews channel. Yeah, I was also seeing, you know, it was showing you how many, whoever was the people that the cosplay 5% video that pulled in a lot of viewership. I think, you know, like someone suggested, probably the cosplay community, you know, probably mistook it for something I was dealing with them. You know, it showed me the titles too, you know, the titles that, I wouldn't say y'all, you know, the real core cipher, you know what I mean? But, you know, you can see the titles that kind of, you know, drew in the most people, I guess. Controversy, you know, is Lord Jamal One of Us episode. A couple other controversial ones there. But that's how y'all do. Y'all like the negative stuff. But see, right now, yeah, we, you know, generally speaking, I'm a little bit A little bit late, but I gotta get with the program right here. You know the title of this one right here, Get on the March. Master Allah rule. You gotta get your mind right, so you can be ready to spring forward. How many of y'all heard that one? How many people know what that means? When you know, people say these things. See, like I said, you know, you end up being the ritualistic 5%. That you got all the little catchphrases down pat. You know all the gossip. But what do you say Master Law Rule means? Or was you just looking at him? You know, was you just looking at him? You know, you wasn't, you know, like I said, it was just a catchphrase to you. See what happens if you don't master the law rule? Anyone? Bueller? Divine truth. For all those that don't know, that's how you know, on the Random Jews channel. On the Random Jews channel, we give flowers. We don't wait until you're gone. We give you your flowers now. So we got here. You're going to be mastered. You fall victim. You don't know self. Any other we got any other answers there? So I gotta hand it on that. I gotta I'm getting my toys back together. Qasim Shabazz. Qasim Shabazz from the tribe of Jabbar. Anyone else? See, that's what I said, you gotta pay attention. applause for everyone. Round of applause for everyone that gave an answer right there. You see, when you look, see, because you gotta remember, you know, we gotta break this stuff down, you know, for the people that don't understand. See, what comes right after March? Qasim Shabazz, today we really just, we freestyling tonight. You know what I'm saying? This kind of title right now, this is really for me. More so than other people, you know what I'm saying? It's that, you know, I got to get on the march. Master Allah rule. So, you know, that was the question. What happens if you don't master Allah rule? What's this? Sanji? Self-Abel. See that? What comes after March but April? In April is Allah power rule. So if you don't master law rule, you ain't gonna have the power to rule. You ain't gonna have the power to live out that culture. So you gotta remember all this time, you know, you're supposed to be in the knowledge, man. You're supposed to be developing your idea. We just talking about for that particular cycle of a year. You know, in the course of a day, you gotta prepare yourself in the first hour when you come, you know, to fully consciousness. See, when the father equality is born, your idea is supposed to be, now you're starting to put it together, you're starting to get into action, put it in motion. See, for each step in each stage, if you didn't prepare yourself when you get to the next stage, then you're going to fail. See, if you didn't master the law rule, now you don't have the power to rule. What happens when it's just you now? Because see, all that lack of preparation, that's who it is. It's just you that did that. And see, in the course of, you know, life as a 5%, that's what happens a lot of time, but then the person don't understand that now it's just you now. They want to blame the nation. They want to blame the lessons is not complicated enough. You know, it's that the lessons, you know, Elijah Muhammad had a 3rd grade education. That's what it is. That's the problem. Let me just stop with that. That's enough. You know, because then I'm going to start going into certain things. And like I said, we're not here, we don't bash. We don't bash on the Random Jews Network. We merely point out some inconsistencies with the law. you said Allah, power, rule, I love. Gotta show the power of supreme mathematics daily and how trained you are in 120. Yeah, in the use of it. But yeah, that's how you gotta, you know, and see, we don't, see, that's one thing. That's one reason we don't get into that. See, the supreme alphabet is like justice. They don't get the love. even though they was right there, step by step. Couldn't happen without them. Justice in the supreme alphabet don't get the love. What's the, you know, what's going on out there? Like I said, we really freestyling today. You know, like I said, you know, I'm back on the march. Can't let the time of spring forward pass me by. According to conventional wisdom, I'm stronger than ever now. So we have any questions out there? You know, anything y'all want to build on? Anything y'all want to build on? Any questions y'all got? We can go into that. I guess while y'all thinking about whatever questions y'all might have, we have a little word from our sponsor.
Peace to young dirty bastard. Right now I got on high atomic apparel. Fresh, you know what I'm saying? It's the greatest thing in the universe. And peace to the gods and earths. Peace to young dirty bastard. Right now I got on high atomic apparel. Fresh, you know what I'm saying? It's the greatest thing in the universe. I got on high atomic apparel. Fresh, you know what I'm saying? It's the greatest thing in the universe. Thing in the universe. Peace to young dirty bastard. Right now I got on high atomic apparel. Fresh, you know what I'm saying? It's the greatest thing in the universe. Peace to the gods and earths.
So you have here the build degree in 114. Was he building on Masonry? You mean when he said society of men? I mean, I can see how that I can see how that would apply. And I mean, you mean in terms of like how like the Prince Hall Masonry, you know, the even, you know, the whole story of Prince Hall, how he wasn't accepted into that social equality in America, and then he had to go to England, you know, to be accepted into that, and then, you know, it was, you know, kind of recognized, but, you know, they still not a part of that particular social equality with the white Masons. I can see how somebody would say that, you know, but it doesn't fit in, you know, to me with you know, what's going on in the rest of that degree. You know what I'm saying? In terms of you dealing with the 6th degree and the 7th degree. You know, and then you gotta think, even at that time, the way the NOI got it, you know, the 8th degree, now it's the 6th degree and the 7th degree that's changed. But still, you know, I'm just saying that, you know, that's speaking a little more historically, I think, than this kind of esoteric way that you have to draw it up to see it as a Masonic kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, different things being an aspect, you know, of you know, anything that somebody say, you know, different parts of my just kind of like, okay, I'm from New York, right? And so yeah, that has an impact on the things that I say when I come on here and do the video. But if you just was to chalk up all my teachings to say, oh, he just said that because he's from New York. See, that's what happens sometimes with this Masonic stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, well, once you find out that, you know, he was a Mason, now everything in the lessons was talking about Masonry. You know, but you know, it's depending on what they mean, I guess I can see it. You know, to me, you know, it was talking about, you know, the conditions, the actual conditions that existed in America at that time. You know what I'm saying? I would suppose that most people that probably see it that way was born, you know, somewhere where it's, you know, kind of liberal. You know, maybe they grew up around white people or something like that without, you know, understanding it, you know, at least the way I understand it, where, you know, in New York, there's clear dividing lines. Like there's streets, like 96th Street in Manhattan, right, is a clear line that on one side, life is one way, and on the other side, life is a different way. You might have a little blurring, a little bit, but, you know, all over New York, it's lines like that. So, you know, that's the way I understood it. Is that life on the other sides of those lines, we was kept apart from that social equality. You know, believe it or not, my father, right, was arrested for being in the South Bronx. Just for being black in the South Bronx. Just to show you that the lines have moved over the years, but I'm saying that, you know, that's being kept apart. Like whatever was going on up there, they didn't want black kids up there. Him and my grandmother talking. My grandmother said, nah, they wasn't doing that. Like when I got to the precinct and I asked the police, you know, what happened. He said, what are they doing up here? So, you know, I hate to say it, Wise Prince, you know what I'm saying, but only because I know you know, that could be something that, you know, cats is saying because of their experience, you know, with Masonry, and that it causes them to draw the lesson up like that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas my experience with being kept apart from their social equality caused me to draw it up like this. He said, you feel like the 1 of 40 is older than the 1 of 14. Wow, feeling. that's a little bit difficult. But now the 1 in 14 was written in 1933, and the 1 in 40 was written in 1934. I'm not. What makes it appear that way to you? Police said they didn't become a part of that society as much as they created a new one. Yeah, when he came back to America, he created the Prince Hall Masons, but he got the charter to do that from England. You said you did the knowledge to a recent video, and I stated people are trying to rewrite history. What benefit do you think they are looking to attain? Is it props, the spotlight? Indeed. That's a powerful thing. What you see on, Instagram and everything, that exists all throughout society now. You know what I'm saying? Where, let's just put a name on it. You got dope, you got crack, you got crystal meth, you got fame. It's up there with those things. It's up there like that. Oxycontin, fame. Put those things together. Like money is like right here, fame is up here. I'm not a Mason, so I don't look at the lessons from a Masonic perspective. I've never heard it applied to Masonry. I just asked that to start a discussion. I mean, yeah, but it does apply in that way. You know what I mean? Where, like I said, a lot of times people, black people is the only people that do that. That you make a plan with the enemy and all type of neutral people and people that's against the plan. Other people don't do that. Like it's no, like because like if they having a meeting of Illuminati, right? And you come in with your Prince Hall idea, whatever the fuck you got, you can't get in with that. They got another chamber over there. You go in the lower chamber over there. But you ain't about to come over here where we deciding shit like what's going on in Ukraine. There's nobody in Prince Hall that's down with that. So you said because Musa comes after Yaqub, the 1 in 40. Not understanding you saying so the 1 in 40 should be before the 1 in 40 should be before the 1 in 14. I mean, if I'm understanding your concept correctly, that would be that would be addressed by the wisdom degree in the 1 in 10. If you're saying that the lesson shouldn't be speaking about Musa before Yaqub, I mean, there's no there's no confusion in terms of the dates. Musa is in the year 11,000, and Yaqub is in the year 8,400. But if you're just speaking in terms of who's mentioned first, Yaqub is mentioned in the wisdom degree in the 1 to 10. Is announcing him like saying he's filthy and we can't deal with him anymore, so let's do for self. Announcing him means you let the other brothers know he's a snake. Announcing him, that's the form of, see, and that's why I be saying you got to keep these people away, these weak link kind of people, because they're weeds. They're not going to produce fruit, they're weeds. And the snakes use weeds to get to you. Got to keep them low. So see, that's announcing him. See, once everybody know he's there, them type of animals like that, they only strike you when you ain't looking. You ever notice that? The motherfucker never say, yo, this rattlesnake came up, looked me in the eye, and bit me. That's only the last resort for a snake. So announcing him is so everybody can turn and look at him and see who the fuck he is. So he can't do that ever again. That was just one example. Well, what's the other example? Because each degree takes you from the beginning up to right now. Like, when you have to go into the science of each degree, they start from the beginning that never began. When it tells you who is the original man, right? There's no birth record on that. And then when it ends, it's telling you about that date right then. At the date of that writing, right? It was 551 years. So that's bringing you from the beginning that never began up until right now. Now, of course, W.F. Muhammad is half arisen. If he got one parent that's Caucasian, then that don't go past 6,000. But when you deal the science of who he is and why that had to be and how he came, right, and who he came from, now we go back to things that have no what? Birth record, which is the original man. And it brings you all the way up to approximately 60 years ago, which means from the date of that writing at that time. When you take it to the 114, it tells you that the earth belongs to the original man. It's not talking about the body. It's talking about the essence of ourself, right? Which is one with the creation of all of this. So again, it's taking you to the beginning that never began. And it ends with MGT and GCC, which is what they was doing at the date of that writing. To 140 takes you from, the 140 takes you all the way back. You know, this is actually telling you about the science of how we make history like that and why we make history like that. It's telling you that time itself, right, comes from the original man. It's a measurement, right? It's one of the measurements of what we do, you know what I'm saying? When we do something, when we perform an action, when we have a thought, right? What's the length of time that that's happening? That's what time is. If nothing was put into motion, it would be no time. So again, it's taking you from the beginning that never began, all the way up to February 20th, 1934. So I'm just saying all that to clarify why I'm not fully comprehending the question. Like I'm saying, that's just something I noticed as a young guy. So the build degree in the 140 is showing us that we're God, and the 13th degree saying, keep being taught that the devil, wait, what? The build degree is showing us that we're God, and the 13th degree saying, keep being taught being taught that the devil teaches the mystery God does this. Oh, I think I see what you're saying. See, the build degree, see what makes it, right? 13th degree, but brings it. You see what I'm saying? See, if you make it, you can control it. But see, when you bring something, you bring it on yourself too. Like a motherfucker say, you gotta bring an ass to kick an ass, or however that saying go. And if you bring it, you in the midst of it too. You can't rise above it if you bringing it. But if you making it, you can rise above it. It don't have to touch you. You understand what I'm saying? So, what makes it, right? And then but, which is doubt. Those who don't really know who they are, but they still, they still the original man. They still, they feel some of those 7 characteristics. When we say the Asiatic black man, to make it the only cream of the planet, Earth, Father, civilization, God, the universe. To varying degrees. Maybe not to the maximum, but they, that's still who they are. The potential energy. Every once in a while, potential energy is released. Like earthquakes and things of that nature, that's potential energy being released a lot of times. You got 2 plates, and they moving, but the land above them ain't moving. And then something happens and all that potential energy gets released. Some kind of catalyst, could bring that power out of them. So see, we know that it rain, hail, snow, right? But it's not above our heads. Because we deal with the build degree. It's above their head because they did the 13th degree. Someone in the chat is, yeah, I haven't paid attention to whoever that is, Concept Shabazz. How could you code living mathematics? Okay, you have to, what do you mean by code? I think you got me there. I think you know, just getting back. You gotta give me a chance to, gotta get the jumper. You know, I gotta get my range back. I don't understand that question. You said you just seen the mugshot of the WNBA player detained in Russia, Ms. Griner. Yeah, I mean, I know who she is. I seen her around. You know, look, we already down. Our female viewership is already in the basement. Let's let's leave. Let's leave the WNBA alone right now. I don't want to get involved with that. How do I see the term Aboriginal? I mean, you gotta cry, you know. See, a lot of words is loaded these days. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, you mean just a term that's been used for hundreds of years to describe the ancient people of Australia, for instance? Or are you talking about this new movement of, you know, black people in America saying that they're the 2 main Indians, basically? Or who we identify as the 2 main Indians in our lesson. I read in Elijah's book, he said the black man is aboriginal to the entire planet.
Peace, black man is God.
Peace.
My brother. My brother.
Alright. Yeah, but which one you mean? But yeah, I mean, that's what I said. If you're talking about the ancient term, but you know, today, like I said, which one are you talking about? Complete said, interesting fact I learned today about earthquakes. When they occur at the bottoms of the ocean, it produces gold ore. I'll leave it right there. Yeah, that's interesting. We had to, you know, see if we can find an expert on geology, you know, science. Well, you say coding is a profession now. Yeah, which profession? What are you saying? You say coding, example, knowledge. I will use know, meaning to look, then wisdom, to be wise, to move. What you saying? You making that up? You already. What do you mean by code? because coding is to use description. Okay, look, I asked a question a minute ago. I need to answer it before we. What? I need a definition for what coding is. You said coding is a profession. How much money do you make? What does it entail? What do you mean coding? Said Aboriginal means coming from the beginning. He's from the Troll Army. Yeah, y'all know I got people there. Give him a round of applause. It's messing around with If Mecca, that's who brings those trolls over here. They troll him for years. Aboriginal meaning inhabiting or existing in the land from the earliest time before the arrival of the colonists. Yeah, you know, that's the issue with a lot of those terms. You know, is that in some cases you got people that's considered Aboriginal, but they got there right before the colored man. You know, like you got, you know, they got there in 1550. Colored man showed up 1602. Well, see, just right now, right? Imagine one of these small tribes, right? Like they got small tribes, you know, in the Amazon. You know, you got some in the South Pacific, whatever. And let's just say just something happens. You know, they have some leap, some you know, technological leap where, you know, all of a sudden they're able to conquer the world. And they coming from their situation, like I said, they have their own technological leap, right? Where, you know, they have their own internet. And let's suppose they technological leap allows them to conquer the globe. Right? When they got certain places, what would they think about who was Aboriginal? Like think about, you know, some of the whitest states in America now. Your Vermonts and your Idahos, Montanas. What would those people think about who was Aboriginal to those places? So, you know, it's a funny word. if you want to make a website, you can use codes to describe the actions in the website, like attributes to NFTs. So you talking about like computer code? I mean, how would you wait, what's the question? You saying something about what you saying supreme mathematics and computer? Like, you know, like, man, I you know, sometimes, see, I hate when stuff like this happens. Cause see, that's a sign that you're getting older. When the young people is talking to you, you don't understand what they're saying. And you're like, what? This is there like a translation button that I'm supposed to press or something that could put this? Sometimes when you read this stuff, it has a little button that say translate into English. See, this time I ain't got it. Guns, Love Line Music. Quite a handle there. Welcome to the page. God King said, I think the correct term is indigenous. Yes, yes, sir. Listen, you know why you always gonna run into problems with all of these terms? Because they're all gonna have that kind of reference point. You know what I mean? Is that these are the names that's given to different people in relation to Europeans. Rather you in the East, rather you in the West, all of this is, so, you're always gonna, the names of the continents, you're always gonna get into that, where's the correct term? We getting to the nitty gritty over here on battery power. He said his statement is that coding is a profession now. The disconnect is that coding started long, long ago. His statements are blurry. That's what I'm saying. What do you mean? How would you write the supreme mathematics in computer code? Let me try this. I'm sure you see, because I don't know if you know how this. You gotta pay attention right here to the pay attention to the comment box. Pay attention to the comment box. Who asked that question? Pay attention to the comment box. This is how I write supreme mathematics and computer code. Is it something else with, I'm not, am I still missing it? You said knowledge is to look, wisdom is to move, understanding is to have crystal clear picture. Yeah, but I'm saying we already, that's the way, what that got to do with computers? See, I'm going to tell y'all what it is, man, and I spoke about this before. You know, when I was getting the knowledge, a lot of things that y'all get exposed to now on the internet, a lot of stories and everything, you didn't get exposed to that. You was, when things happened, if you was younger than a certain age, you was, sent home. Or, go to the park, go play, whatever it is, when certain things get ready to happen. You know what I'm saying? And, just certain things, just study your lessons, guys. And one of the things, was the tape of Allah speaking. Like, see, now y'all, get the tape of Allah speaking and everything. Back then, brothers used to say, nah, we ain't gonna tell you all that much. Like, you gotta know his history and all that. But if we tell you about too much things that he said before you ready, you might not understand. So you didn't get to hear, all of this different stuff, So, by the time I got a chance to hear the tape, by now I'm fairly up in my lessons. Like, I'm probably on the 1 to 40. You know what I'm saying? maybe even more. You know what I'm saying? That was something you really had to know somebody to get that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, now y'all on clown car time. Everybody in the car get it. You know what I'm saying? But the first time I heard the tape, it was by then I had heard Dumar speak. I had heard, Universal speak. Different people, Freedom, just the great orators of the nation. The people that, they was able to put high science that belong in the physics book in the kind of slang that just, it sounded fly in front of the school. You know what I'm saying? High school, I'm saying, junior high school, wherever you was at. There was, so, this was my expectation. I was expecting, when I heard this tape of Allah speaking, for this to be like, all of those people combined on turbo juice. You know what I'm saying? And, when for the first time I heard it, like, you tell people, yeah, I heard the tape. People like what he said, you're like, yeah, nah, he wasn't really dropping no signs. Because we expected it to be some, he's telling us some outer space shit. What's on the other side of Alpha Centauri and shit. But it's just a demonstration of how simple mathematics really is. Especially in some of these different, times and places where you had to apply it. It's very simple. Like, yeah, we got to learn the science behind things and know the science of where things came from and how they work and, you know, what could be the outcome of dealing with them. But sometimes that whole thing you talking about ain't nothing but a button you got to press to really take it through the stage of wisdom and get the understanding. But you're overcomplicating it. A lot of shit, God, why you think motherfuckers have meetings for 57 years? Overcomplicating shit. So just saying that to say that, you know, sometimes it's simple. See, what we deal with, our names is proper names. Our words is proper words. There's no translation for Darkim Be Allah. It's Darkim Be Allah in Spanish. It's Darkim Be Allah in Arabic. It's Darkim Be Allah in German. Whatever it is. So how you write Supreme Mathematics in that world is going to be the same way I wrote it in this world. And the people, whoever's in that world that can relate to the language I speak, that's who I teach. And the people who can relate to it, you know, I don't know if you speak another language except English. But you can relate to those people just like we're doing right here, right now. No matter how much that illusion gets to, right? Still got to plug this shit in the wall. Still people who got to get their hands dirty and their back sore so that this shit can happen. So, you know, I don't know, you know, just like right now, you know, how am I doing this? This in the virtual world. I don't really see no difference. Except I can't make the show improve. See, how many people in here right now, 32, we probably shave that down to 5 in real life. Probably be like 5 of y'all. When it's time to show improve. But other than that, we do the same thing. Yeah, Lord Shalom saying, yeah, you don't know how hard it was to hear that tape back in the days. It was. Listen, there's people you be around every day wouldn't let you hear the tape. And don't forget, like I said, it wasn't, you know, these older brothers was not as generous with their time and knowledge back then. You know, first of all, you know, when y'all come now, you come to New York, you know, or you call brothers on the phone, you know, we didn't have cell phones. Brothers ain't got phones everywhere they at so they can talk to you. That's one thing. You know what I'm saying? You know, but just on top of that, you know, when you call somebody, say you call the firstborn, they retired. Anybody on here that got the number of a firstborn, right? Anybody on here that got the number of a firstborn, tell me if I'm right or not. You could be talking to the firstborn. Any one of them. Right? While they talking, you can put the phone down, go to the bathroom, stop in the kitchen, make a sandwich, eat it, help your child with something, answer the door, then go back to the phone, and then still be talking. They didn't even know, they wouldn't even know you was calling. I mean, y'all got firstborn number, and you realize that's the case. Wasn't like that. But just saying, that's another issue right there. My point is just that, sometimes it's simple. That's why I say it's good to know your 120. Because see, sometimes the answers to something is just in a degree that comes after that. See, one of the greatest examples of that is the fifth degree in the 1 to 10. See, the lessons just continue to give you clarification on that, right, all the way to the end, where you go from the square mileage of the whole planet, right? Then you get to the 1 to 40, it breaks it down into the land and water. How much is land, how much is water? Then you get to the actual facts, and it breaks down the bodies of land and the bodies of water. You got to go back to the 1 to 10 to get one of the bodies of land, the useful land, to do your calculation. That's why you got to know the whole thing. And you got to have it on cap, because you're going to have to flip it and bounce it like that, right, in order to see the answers. That statement, I don't know what's the word for that, but Foundation made a statement here where he said keeping it simple is complex in itself. That shit is like poetic or something. Somebody need to make a meme out of that. I might use that for a t-shirt. You see, that's when, the statement itself embodies the statement somehow. Because the statement is simple, but it conveys something that's complex. As we all let me hear the tape, he had more than one. I don't know how long they were. One was an interview with what sounded like the press, where he spoke about Russia. Peace. I didn't even know he was back here. Yeah. Complete says not just your firstborn that get on the phone with you like that, but yeah, that's, it's good at the end of the day. They got to give that knowledge up anyway. See me, I have to, what's the deal? You out?
Yeah. I drink that shit tomorrow.
See, you man, why you even got that, man? You just waiting. I told you to wait, man.
Tell me to wait. To wait until Wednesday.
Man, that's your brother, man. You king.
And I see Mama come in. I said, bring me a black bull with me. And I know I drink that shit.
You know, one thing about this channel, I gotta give it to you. Sometimes y'all say things on here I never heard before. You said bodies of man like land and women, water. Is this the law?